So welcome back to Wayne's World of Gaming, where we talk, play and collect everything PlayStation. Or do we? I've got something a bit different today, a different idea. I'm going to see if I can turn this into something cool for my games room. I just looked at the shape of it and it looked ideal, so I'm going to have a play about. It may work, it may not, but I thought you'd bring you along on the journey with me and see what we can do with this old battered PS1. So this PlayStation 1 is sold on eBay, spares and repairs. I've bought it. I'm going to see if I can make something cool for my games room with it. Hope you enjoy the video. Something a bit different. Wish me luck.
Game on! Game on!
Right, so apologies for this setup. I don't have the best setup, I know, but it's the best I can do. So hopefully it'll turn out okay. Right, so we've got the PlayStation, opens and closes. Obviously, there's no power to it, but part of this build, I want to try and get it. So if I press that, that lights up. I think I've thought of a way. It just all depends on how that switch is working, whether it's a physical switch or whether it is done via a circuit board. So the way I thought of it is I've bought one of these. I can stick two AA batteries in there and then power the circuit from there, or power the switch. Just get this apart and then we can figure out what we're dealing with. I just hope it's just a physical switch that just meets two contacts together, really, to get that LED firing. And if it does, that'll be pretty sweet. Because I don't know how to do it if it's just a circuit board, if it's through a circuit board. But then again, we can think out the box, can't we, and get it done. Right, so let's get these screws. There's only 6 screws holding it in by the look of it. I love this. It's just a little posi drive out of my precision set. Don't need any game bit screws or anything specialist. Right, so how does this open? There we go. Right, the cover just lifts off by the look. What I didn't want, the switch is done via a circuit board. I don't know if you can see. So when that is pressed in, it lights that up. Right, so let's have a gander. See if we can do anything with that. Let me take that. Well, I don't need this disk drive anyway, so that can come out completely. That can go in the scrap pile. I don't know if it works, so I could save it for spares, but I generally don't mess with consoles anyway, so it's pointless. And I can't guarantee if it works. So there really is no point whatsoever. Right, let's get them out. Let's just try and get some space in this unit. How does that come out? There's a couple of screws there. Let's hold the power supply in. Aha! Right, so that's basically the power unit then. So that's your power switch there. That's where your mains goes in. And then all these must drop it from 230 volt down to 12. Right. So if I set this up, let's strip them ends a little bit. So we got a bit more contact there. It's a bit more to play with. Right, so if we get... Right, so there's our battery set up in there. So if you can see, that's the LED. So if I'm assuming those two there should light up the LED. So if we touch those on there, look at that. We have just an LED lighting up. Right. So what we need to figure out is how we can do that through the switch. So if I keep the negative there, for instance, how do I put it on there? Right. Got a bit of light there, haven't we? This is quite fiddly to do. If I hold that there and then we touch that on there. Whew, my fingers are way too fat for this. It's not as bright though, is it? If you see that's full brightness, that's not as bright for whatever reason. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, folks, sorry. Oh, that's a bit better, isn't it? That middle, if I keep the positive there, and then... Oh, no, it's not. I'm lying. Because I was touching on that. But anyway, regardless, does that actually work with the switch? So switch is off. It does, but why is that not as bright? That's what I need to figure out. So hard with fat fingers, I tell you. Don't know if you can see, but that's very dim. I don't know if that's gonna shine like I want it to. Whereas if I just connect it straight onto the LED. Oh, there we go, what's this? Man, my fingers are super fat. Right, so that is that. Yeah, it's a lot dimmer. That's the one we want there. It's not quite as bright as I'd like it, but it is what it is. I can only do what I can do, unfortunately. I wonder if that goes on there. Would that have the same effect? No. So we're going to need that down on there, like so. Somehow. It's not working at all now. Right, I'm gonna have to get me soldering iron out, I think. I'll be right back. Right, so I've got my soldering iron. I have plugged him in. Can't remember how to use it because it's been so damn long. But fingers crossed, I can reuse the solder that's on this unit. And I don't know how well you can see this, I apologise. And hopefully I can just solder what's there. Is this even fucking switched on? Yeah, it is on. Jeez, that's hot. Whew. Might need some flux because this has been on here for so long now. You know, this machine is, how many years old would it be? 30. Oh, it is going slowly. Right. Yeah, that's not working. Right, I'm going to get some more solder if I got some here. See if there's any lying around. Just snip those edges back slightly. Right, solder. I'm sure I bought some. And here's one I made earlier. Now, don't laugh at my soldering. I haven't soldered since college, which was, God knows how many years ago. 10, 12 years ago. Right, so that is on. I'm just going to put a couple more dobs just to be safe. And I've soldered the wrong cable on. Well done, Wayne. Right, there. Let's get that back off. Told you I was no good at soldering, didn't I? Just gonna have to add a bit more, I think. Making a meal of this, boys and girls. Right, that's that. I'm just gonna, like I said, chuck a bit more on just to be safe. Don't want it going anywhere. Like that. Fuck it, I'm making a meal of this. Right, that's what I'm doing. Screw it. If it comes off, it comes off. And then I'm sure it was this one here. If I just bang a load on there. And that is a load, in fairness. Right. So in theory, that is done. Let's just turn this iron off a sec so I don't set the house on fire. And they are on. So, in theory now, if I press this button, nothing happens. Of course it doesn't. What the fuck have I done now? Right, so I've done a different connection. And there we go. We have lift off a battery. So let's turn that off a sec. I'm just going to put it all back together now. I just want to make sure that we can see it visibly once the cover is back on. And if so, great success! Right, so that's that in there. Bang these screws in. No one. Right, just quickly throw this back on. And I am well happy with that. So this is just purely battery power now. And that is phase one of the build. That is cool as poo. Right, so that is that. I need to figure out somewhere how I can stick that in, fix it down. Probably a bit of super glue or something maybe, but then that's metal, so I'll have to figure something, maybe some 3M tape or something. So if I say slotted it there, yeah, still go on. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Loving it, loving life. Right, so now on to phase 2. Right, so for my next trick, I don't need the back piece at the moment, so that can sit over there. Just want this, so got me drill bit here, got me drill. And what I'm going to try and do is I want to drill out the center of this. Probably better if I just do that, like so. And yes, I'm aware I'm going to drill through my table. But this is just to start it off. It's going to be hard because there's a little nib there. So if I can cut that off, like so. Just want to start this off. Like that. And I can lift it up to finish and drill through. Now this is probably where you can start guessing what I'm going to be doing here. So hopefully that is dead center. And now I bought a clock mechanism, so you can guess what is going to happen here. That needs to go through there. Hole needs to be bigger, so I'm going to have to drill that side. I haven't got a bigger drill bit with me. And there goes my tablecloth. Probably not the best of ideas, was it? Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Oh, still needs to be... Oh, might just get away with that there. Which is going to be our next problem. So, the next problem is... This isn't going to sit in here. So... I just pop that into situ and then get a pencil. Should be able to just draw around. Well, I'm going to cut a big square actually. There's no point drawing around it exactly, is there? Try and make it look like it's supposed to be there. Something like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get all that cut out and I'll be right back with you. Right, so that's that cut out. I've got a reaming tool here just to try and get some of these burrs off, which doesn't look like it's going to work very well, if I'm honest. I know it's more for metals and circular bits, but well, a lot of them breaking off anyway. But the plastic, let's see where it's got hot and melted. It's just gone in these bloody clumps. Not that I'm too worried. This side I'm not too worried about. It's more the other side. Oh my God, look at the hole in that tablecloth. Right, so I'm just gonna try and deburr some of these edges. Right, so that is that, roughly. It's not perfect, I'm not gonna lie. I will need to spend a bit more time doing it. But for the purpose of this video, let's just get it done, is it? See if we can actually get this to work. Right, so we need that, we need that. The washer goes on. that goes through the hole, and then fingers crossed that should shut. It does. Boom. Happy days. Washer. Nut. Probably should have tested this mechanism was working first, shouldn't I? Now, according to the instructions, it says to do it up tight, but not too tight. So I don't know what that kind of means. But that's pretty tight. We need to make sure this mechanism's spinning. So I'll just go grab another battery. Oh, yes. See, the plan was I wanted to make a clock. And then if the battery ever ran out in your clock, you could just press that and change the battery. So whether that's going to work with the weight of a battery added, I don't know. But we're going to figure it out. Right, so I've installed the battery. I don't know if you can hear that ticking. But that says to me that it's working. And like I wanted, if I press the eject button, it does open enough for you to change the battery. So fingers crossed that's going to stay working. I'm just going to pop the battery out again, and then we can get some hands fitted on here. Right, so here we go. I have bought some hands for this clock. I've tried to match the PlayStation colours, so we've got red, yellow and blue. You get a minute, a second and an hour hand in each colour. So I'm just going to use one of each colour preferably. So I'm thinking I'll use red for the hour hand. So I'm guessing that is the hour, no. Let me have a look now. How would you? Yeah, I'm guessing that's got to be the hour hand, surely. No, that's the hour hand. I really wish they'd give you instructions with this. This has got to be the hour hand purely because of the size. And by size, I mean the diameter of the circle, because they go in separate levels. So if I do that, if I have yellow then as the minute hand, it says when setting up as well, everything has got to be at 12. Jeez, they're tight. So you put them all to 12 o'clock. And then we just need blue, which is the second hand. Which should just clip into the top there, I think. Right. So in theory, that should be the clock mechanism done. So if we just pop a battery in there now. Oh yeah, it's working perfectly. Ish. Look at that. Right, so what I'm going to do, work out what the time is, and then I'm going to set this to the right time. So here we go, it's currently 10 to 8. And that is ticking away nicely. So it's all working to plan. I'm going to put that to one side a sec. And what I wanted to do, I got some 3M tape. And I'll try and stick this battery unit in so it doesn't move around. If you don't use 3M tape for anything, it is awesome. There we go, now check that's still working. That is still working. Right, there was one last thing I wanted to do. Because obviously we're going to want to put this somewhere, aren't we? Look at that bloody tablecloth. Right, we're going to want to put this somewhere. So my idea is I'm going to drill this hole bigger. and try and make a slot in it, you know, like you would have on something, so you could just literally hang it on the wall. Whether it works or not is a different story, but that is the plan. Bye-bye tablecloth again by the look of it. Oh, that went a lot easier than I thought it would. Yeah, that metal's not too much, is it? Yeah, that's not very strong at all, that metal. Let's just cut that out. Cowboys are us here. Make it up as we go along. Get the reamer in there, clear those edges off. So that is that, and now I just want to get, if I got a smaller bit. Like I said, this is all just made up on the cuff, so do not copy me, because you will end up with no tablecloth. It's not exactly centre, is it? But I think you get the picture. Screw a screw into the wall, it'll fit in there and then slot on up into there. That's what I'm going for with this. Whether it works or not is another story. But that is that. That is still working. Clock is ticking away nicely. Let's get all this thing put back together and then see where we're at. Oh man. So that is that. I am super happy with that. Let's get this on display in the games room and take it from there. So this is where she sat at the moment. I've got a little stand here. Doesn't really hold it very well because it's made for the PS1, but I will get a proper PlayStation stand. But I'm just gonna try it on the wall now and see how she looks on the wall. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's final resting place up on the wall there, and it's even got a working power button. I'm over the moon with that. Yeah, I'm just super chuffed with that. That is cool. With the PlayStation colour hands. Pretty easy to make as well. I'll do an outro now and let you know the costs. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That is my little invention. I just thought I'd share with you. I'll let you know the costs. The console, a broken console, I believe it was £10 or £15. I'll put it up here. The actual clock mechanism itself here. The battery unit, and then the hands I bought separately. No, I'm lying to you. I didn't buy the hands separately. You buy a mechanism and you pick what colour hand you want. So I bought 3 different mechanisms to get 3 different colours. So that's that. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends and all that jazz. You can make one of yourself. I think it's as little as 20 or 30 quid. So knock yourselves out. I know it's a bit different again, but But I just want to try and keep the channel fresh. And I've had this idea burning for so long. And I bought the bits to do it. I just haven't got around to doing it. I've had the bits probably 2-3 months. Tonight was the night. I had a bit of spare time. I thought, let's get it done. So I hope you enjoy. I'll catch you all on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Game on.
Big respect to the gamer, name of Wayne. In his world, PlayStation reigns the same, and he's got love for the levels, high score or not. But for now, he'll show you why his collection's hot. Wayne Slow! Game save!